Tim's News Explosion. 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 Tim's News Explosion.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Tim's News Explosion. Tonight it is Monday, the 2nd of May, 2022. We are live on the Wilms Front YouTube, D-Live and Odyssey channels. Hello to all of my mates in the live chats. The reason I'm using the term mates tonight is because the ministers in the New South Wales government have been told not to use the term mate as part of a new respect at work training, or more like respect of woke training. So they're being told not to use the word mate, ban drinking alcohol in their offices, and not to yell at staff. So this was training came about after a review into bullying and harassment by former Sex Discrimination Commissioner and New South Wales Liberal Government Minister Prue Goward. Banter and gossip also deemed a no-no, while ministers were told to invite everyone in the office, if heading out for lunch or after work drinks, to be inclusive. And also delegating the work of junior staff to a more senior person, that can now be construed as bullying. Also, you may remember that former Australian of the Year, David Morrison, he told us not to use the word guys. So the term mate and guys are out. So I can't say, hey, you guys, hello to all you guys, can't call people mate. I guess also definitely can't use the term ladies and gentlemen. So I guess the only gender fluid term that I can use from now on, if I was to abide by all this. I'm surprised that this has been adopted in Victoria. Actually, New South Wales is leading the way here, is peoples. Like Kath from Kath and Kim used to say, hello, peoples. It's a very sad day for Kath and Kim fans with the Patterson Lakes Lagoon Court home being demolished. It wasn't heritage listed. It's most Kath and Kim fans are saying it's a crime that it's been knocked down, and it's apparently a new huge family home is going to be built in its place. That's what owner Joe Kelly has told 7 and 9 News. Colin says it was the American university who came up with this and they imported it to New South Wales. Well, New South Wales, the government, they imported it themselves. They did this to themselves. It is 8:30 p.m. here in Melbourne, Victoria, where winter is coming, and well, the last 2 winters here in Melbourne have been long and dark and grey and seem to last for eternity. When Dan locked us all in our homes on the advice of the Chief Health Officer, Brett Sutton. Now, we've already been told by these two to get 3 shots, 3 jabs of the COVID vaccine, and there's the winter COVID dose for the elderly and vulnerable. But we're being told don't get jab shot fatigue because the flu is going to be making a comeback, we're told, with a vengeance. And Brett Sutton promoted the flu jab on 7 News and told us that, yes, the flu we've got to all watch out for this winter.
From what you know, Can we start to tell the difference between influenza and COVID symptoms for sure now?
It's not an easy thing to differentiate, and so get that COVID rat test or COVID PCR test if you have got any of those compatible symptoms. But flu looks very much the same, and in fact, for people who are vaccinated against COVID, it might be a much more significant illness with the high fevers, the terrible headaches, the can't get off the couch. People really genuinely feel like they're hit by a truck.
And the flu has already hit a number of people. This is the feedback that I'm getting. They had Omicron back in January, and it was mild. But the flu is really hitting them for six. And obviously with people forcibly locked away for a lot of the past 2 years, that means that many people's natural immunity to all sorts of bugs and viruses has waned. What you can also do to build up your immunity this winter is to get outside without a mask and explore expose yourself to the elements. Expose yourself to the outdoors. Explore the outdoors, because that's maybe have some a roll around in the fields just to make sure that you're connecting with raw nature, and that'll certainly help your immune system as well. We're at the halfway mark of the federal election campaign, so there's 3 weeks to go until Saturday, May 21 polling day. So early voting commences next Monday, the 8th of May, and all the candidates they were declared a week and a half ago, and now the how to vote cards are coming out. The corflute signs are coming out as well, and now this group of candidates here. You can't see the political party that they're running for, but based on their hair, so you've got some dyed red, pink, aqua blue, dark blue, and also some pink hair there. Can anyone take a guess in the chat what party they're running for? Yes. You would be correct in guessing the Greens, and boy, fitting the stereotype there. I mean, the one Claire Garden, she's got like the oompa. She looks like she's got the oompa loompa blue styled hair there. Now, the polls are still pointing to a Labor win if you take in the two-party preferred. So the Resolve Age Sydney Morning Herald Monitor, 53 to 47, two-party preferred. The Greens are around 11 to 15% in that poll, and One Nation is about 4, and United Australia about 5, and then News Poll is 53-47 in favour of Labor as well. So Labor is still pretty steady in front of the polls. Albo, obviously, a lot of commentators are saying he just needs to make no more gaffes, and he's got seems to follow him everywhere. Is the one of the mean girls, Katie Gallagher, the finance spokeswoman for Labor. She seems to be there in case Albo forgets all the facts and figures again, like he did on the first day in Tasmania. And so Albo, he was after he got out of ISO, was able to travel to Perth for the ALP campaign launch. And Mark McGowan was able to be there with him. He got out of isolation as well. And the campaign launch, it was sort of it sort of seemed like a bit of a weird sort of, open mic or sort of wedding speeches. The way that McGowan and Albo and all the other frontbencher candidates were all making these sort of jokes in the middle of their speeches. But Albo unleashed, well, he wants to unleash, if he wins the election, a new socialist housing policy, and that'll be that it'll be open to 10,000 people if they so divide this scheme. If you have with a 2% deposit, you'll be able to purchase a home, and the government will pay for 40% of it. So the government will own 40% of your home. And Real Rukshan, he basically summarized what's likely to happen when the government owns 40% of your home. I don't think I have it here yet. I'll get it here in a moment. Oh, yes, here we are here. Sorry, I've ruined the zinger here. I thought I'd uploaded it.
Now, if you have saved 2% of your deposit, we will contribute up to 40% of the purchase price of a new home or 30% of an existing home. Help to Buy will assist Australians to buy a home with a smaller deposit, a smaller mortgage and smaller mortgage repayments. An Australian Labor government will help you achieve the great Australian dream of home ownership. It's a plan to put government to work, backing up and investing in everyday people, because that's what good government is. I know what the difference is.
Authorised by Real Rukshan, the Minister for Means.
Yes, you'll own 60% of your home and be happy. And we saw during the first major extended lockdown here in Victoria, what happens if the government owns your home, like the public housing towers that were locked down basically because the government owned them, and so basically could enforce the complete quarantine level 5 lockdown of those residents in those public housing towers, like the CCP are doing to the residents of Shanghai. They're not allowed to leave for any reason, not even to get food or exercise. So at least Dan didn't kill their pets like is happening in Shanghai. And of course, Dan wants to also build more socialist housing as well. So if you want to know what happens when the government owns part or all of your home, then just look at what happened to those residents of those Melbourne public housing towers. Home ownership and the cost of living obviously are becoming key election issues because of the inflation numbers last week, 5.1% for the past year, ending in March. And that means that all but certain that the Reserve Bank should raise interest rates tomorrow if they had any shred of economic responsibility. Now, moving on to the big story of the past week. And, well, the madman finally did it. Elon Musk, the Tesla SpaceX billionaire, currently the world's richest man, bought Twitter. He managed to secure the $44 billion dollars in financing, and gave the Twitter shareholders a offer that they couldn't refuse. And well, it's been a week of mass triggering for the drips on Australian Twitter, and many of the blue ticks on the globalist Twitter hierarchy, and of course the cable news personalities on CNN, MSNBC also being hysterical. because, well, according to them, free speech, because Elon Musk, he said he wants to restore free speech to the platform. That's what he said Twitter needed before he bought it. That according to them, free speech leads to hate speech, fake news, and medical misinformation. And they also claim that because Elon Musk was born and raised in apartheid South Africa, that he must have white nationalist sympathies, which is an outrageous accusation to make. A lot of people are saying that because he was born in South Africa and migrated to America, that he's African American. Well, it's more like I'd say you sort of say Afrikaners American. Well, his journey to America, it's basically the same as Trevor Noah's journey to America. I mean, he was born and raised in apartheid South Africa, but obviously because he's half black, he can't possibly story can't be stretched that he supported apartheid, given that he was, well, he was a product of a multiracial couple coming together, not coming apart, which is what apartheid meant. Trevor Noah of The Daily Show, who now has an afro, hosted the White House Correspondents' Dinner, returned after pretty much after the Trump had boycotted it, and obviously they didn't have it in 2021 due to COVID, and there was hardly a mask in sight as well, which is, you normally don't see Joe Biden much without his 2 masks on. So that was quite, that shows that even the DC establishment, they sort of still want some normal. And was it Nancy Pelosi is in Kyiv walking with President Zelensky without her mask as well. And now Elon Musk he obviously is going to be the new Twitter owner, but it's still under the old management. So it still has its CEO, Parag Agrawal, and the censorship czar, Victoria Gaddy. They might be axed. Apparently, the Twitter staff, they all needed some sort of counseling because they're so distraught. Elon Musk is buying Twitter now. And, well, if it so traumatizes you, just leave. Like, I'm sure Elon Musk knows plenty of people. I mean, he didn't get to be the world's richest man by having a team around him who believed in his vision. Now, obviously, Elon Musk is not a savior or a god emperor, just like Trump never was. But like Trump, he's a disruptor. And as we're seeing, he's going full madman on Twitter now. He said his next acquisition is going to be Coca-Cola, and he's going to put the Coke back into Coca-Cola. And then when AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she was expressing that she didn't like a billionaire controlling a huge platform, his reply was, stop hitting on me, because that's her response to, well, that's what she said to Ben Shapiro when he challenged her to a debate. She said, stop catcalling me. And when Republicans criticized her for fleeing to Florida, when the Omicron wave was happening, she said, oh, they just want to date me. So Elon Musk, he's certainly, well, is the new stable genius. And if you've ever seen that Seinfeld episode about the soup Nazi, Kramer becomes friends with him, and he is well, what he says about the soup Nazi is that every genius is a bit eccentric. And, well, we certainly knew that, saw that with Trump as well. But, of course, the the hypocrisy of the left. They're worried about a billionaire controlling this massive platform, but it's never bothered them that Jeff Bezos basically controls much of what is shipped around the world, much of what is streamed and available for book purchase, and of course owns the Washington Post newspaper now. So it's only a problem if it's a billionaire they have reservations about. Of course, a lot of conservatives do not like Elon Musk's belief in, his flirtation with transhumanism. He said that part of his transformation of Twitter is going to be getting rid of the bots, maybe to have it as a subscription service, which means that if something is subscription-based and not advertising-based, that means you're the customer. If it's advertising-based, then you're the product. And certainly Facebook, they've done a good job at making you the product. But maybe Elon Musk has purchased it to further spread the message about electric cars, because electric cars, they're certainly a big commitment by both major parties in this federal election campaign. More electric vehicles, more charging stations, and if they're all Teslas, then that's good for Elon Musk's as well. Now, almost as it seemed as a response to Elon Musk buying Twitter, the Biden administration announced that the Department of Homeland Security was going to be setting up a disinformation governance board to survive misinformation, and the woman that they chose to lead it is Nina Jackowitz, and she previously called the Hunter Biden laptop story misinformation, believes in non-binary genders, and she's already got up a jingle to fight misinformation, disinformation.
She's an expert on online disinformation.
Information laundering is really quite ferocious. It's when a huckster takes some lies and makes them sound precocious by saying them in Congress or a mainstream outlet. So disinformation's origins are slightly less atrocious. It's how you hide a little lie, little lie. It's how you hide a little lie, little lie. It's how you hide a little lie, little lie. When Rudy Giuliani shared bad intel from Ukraine, or when TikTok influencers say COVID can cause pain, they're laundering disinfo, and we really should take note and not support their lies with our wallet, voice, or vote. Oh!
But this is a person with extensive qualifications.
God, yeah, that is. Don't listen to that. I've just played it once. Don't listen to that too much, because it would be just something that's going to be on repeat in your head, like Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas. Yes, exactly, Marg. It's an incredibly annoying jingle. Now, I wonder if Nina considers this misinformation. So, university midwife students taught to care for men giving birth through their penis. A British university is teaching its midwifery students how to care for males giving birth. Feminist website Redux revealed teaching materials from Edinburgh Napier University, which state the person giving birth may still have external male genitalia after transitioning. The skills workbook on catheterization informs students the person giving birth may still be a male. The workbook also adds a trans version of transition from female to male could give birth through a specifically constructed penis. Eleanor Mona, a fellowship of the Chartered Society for Physiotherapy, expressed dismay at the contents of the book. She told the website, "It is not possible for a male person to get pregnant. A female with a gender different can become pregnant but will not have male genitalia." So there, that's another layer on this men giving birth. Maybe this text was taken from the Ivan Reitman directed movie Junior, where Arnold Schwarzenegger becomes a man to get pregnant and give birth. No, it's not satire. It's real, Margot. Now, staying in the UK, and there's been more salacious sleaze that's come out in British politics. It's always Brits who have the most sleaziest and you'd say dooziest sex scandals. And it all seemed to kick off when the Daily Mail, the original one in the UK, ran a story that Tories accuse Deputy Labour leader Angela Rayner of basic instinct ploy to distract Boris Johnson. MPs claim she likes to put PM off his stride by crossing and uncrossing her legs at PMQs. And of course, it has the iconic Sharon Stone scene from Basic Instinct. Now, for those who haven't seen the actual movie but know all about the Sharon Stone leg crossing, she has no underwear on her character, and you see it all when she opens her legs. Like, it's literally full frontal there. And obviously there is obviously Angela Rayner, she is probably dressed at all times in the parliament, but it's still an unsavory accusation to claim that she would do that. This is Angela Rayner here. As you can see, she's quite a lovely got a lovely ginger, got long ginger hair there. She sits behind Sir Keir Starmer at PMQs. She called this a attack both sexist and classist. Mark says, the start of degeneracy for women all around the world. I assume you're referring to Basic Instinct. So I doubt that, what is it? First of all, I don't believe that she did this, and I doubt Boris Johnson would be distracted by it. I mean, he's it'd take much less to put Boris Johnson off his game in Prime Minister's questions. But because this, in my view, because this outrageous slur was made against Angela Rayner, then came the accusation that a Conservative MP had watched porn while in the House of Commons. And it turned out to be the Chief Conservative Whip, Neil Parish, who at first, when he was revealed to be the member who was looking at material which would stimulate his member, told the media, I can't comment on what I did because it's going to be the subject of an inquiry. Used the Sue Gray defense. Boris Johnson said, I can't comment on if I held or went to any parties until Sue Gray's report is done. I remember the Boris Johnson parody Twitter account said that I can't say if I took a shit this morning until Sue Gray has a report on it. But eventually, Neil Parish was leaned on to resign. But he told the BBC this was an excuse for accidentally stumbling upon some porn, how he became to watch porn in the House of Commons.
The situation was that I, funnily enough, it was tractors that I was looking at, and so I did get into another website that had a sort of very similar name, and I watched it for a bit, which I shouldn't have done. But my biggest crime, is that on another occasion I went in a second time.
And that was deliberately?
And that was deliberate.
And was that in the Select Committee or in the Commons chamber?
That was sitting, waiting to vote.
Yes, he accidentally clicked on porn while looking up tractors, which I don't know how that happens. I'm sure there's people working in agribusiness who look up tractors on their work computers without stumbling upon porn. Now, his wife stood by him as well. Sue Parrish said, "He's a good person," says wife of porn Tory. Sue Parrish says there are very few men who haven't looked at pornography. Now, given his wife had said this and his unplausible excuse, the obvious comparison was made between Neil Parish and the Little Britain Conservative politician Sir Norman Fry, MP, who'd try to explain away sex scandals that events had been misconstrued. His most common line was, "At that point, my clothes accidentally fell off." Obviously, it's absurd that your clothes would accidentally fall off. So yes, that is, more very British political sex scandals. Now, the US, of course, has had its fair share of doozy scandals. And so we had a few weeks back one of the MAGA Republicans, Madison Cawthorn, because one of the reasons you need to vote for Republicans is so there's not all these transvestites coming around, walking around. And so we had Madison Cawthorn. These photos popped up in Politico. He was wearing women's lingerie on a cruise ship, and there's been accusations that he's participated in orgies and used drugs. So Politico could not independently verify the photos, but note they are a screenshot of original images provided by a person formerly close to Cawthorn and his campaign. Cawthorn responded in a tweet, "I guess the left thinks goofy vacation photos during a game on a cruise taken way before I ran for Congress, someone are going to hurt me," he wrote. "They're running out of things to throw at me." Cawthorn pins the link on the left. So I don't know if it's something a lot of men do in their youth when they go on some wild cruises and all of a sudden they end up in women's lingerie. Now, I've talked about the world's richest madman, Elon Musk. There is a local madman running for the Queensland Senate. And no, I'm not talking about Clive Palmer, nor am I talking about Bob Katter. I'm talking about Drew Pavlou, who has founded the Democracy Alliance. Drew has made a name for himself as an anti-CCP, anti-Xi Jinping activist. His party is running on a platform of democracy and human rights. And the reason why he is a madman is because he's completely unafraid. I mean, he had a baptism of fire into activism when he was bashed by pro-CCP thugs at the University of Queensland, which he attended. And because they had a lot of Confucius Institute money, Drew actually ended up being suspended. So Drew is traveling all around the country to support his candidates, many of them anti-CCP, Australians of Chinese ethnicity. And he decided when he was in Sydney on Saturday night to hold a sign in one of the main areas of the Sydney seat of Bennelong, which has a lot of Chinese Australians there, a sign in Chinese that said, "Fuck Xi Jinping," and this is what happened.
Motherfucker! I can see motherfucker! America has genocide. You know, no fucking Xi Jinping. Free country, you motherfucker! Hey, son of I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. It's a free country. Motherfucker. Yes. Son of the bitch. What do you want? Yes. 快住佢！屌你老母臭個閪！我都識講啊！他媽的，奸你娘！奸你娘！
Yeah, fuck Xi. Fuck Xi Jinping. That's enough. Fuck Xi Jinping. My hands behind my back. Coward. My hands behind my back. I haven't touched a single person. Come hit me. I'm not a coward.
And now the New South Wales Police unbelievably are looking to charge him for offensive language in public. So I'm sure if he was holding a fuck ScoMo sign, that wouldn't have happened. Probably there wouldn't have been too many people upset with such a sign. But apparently if you hold up a sign of a dictator, people get very triggered and want to defend his honor. And those CCP apologists, if they love Xi Jinping so much, why don't they go back to live under his rule? They could go on the next plane to Shanghai, maybe. And now some mainstream media outlets are calling him a provocateur, saying that he's anti-China, which he's not. He's anti-CCP, anti-dictatorship, anti-Xi Jinping. In fact, he has been the subject of racial vilification with the hate mail that he's been getting. So this person, Hiot Lao, wrote, fuck you, hey, fuck you, Caucasian pig. So you'll remember that Clementine Ford, she actually sold fuck Tony Abbott t-shirts when he was Prime Minister, and she was never prosecuted. Nobody was arrested for wearing those t-shirts. You could also safely wear a fuck Dan Andrews t-shirt or sign in Victoria and probably get a lot of love as well, because all of the Dan Stans, they're still hiding under the doona in their double, triple masks, had their fifth vaccine. I'm not sure if the the pro-lockdown people even bother with their activism anymore. They only turned up to a few of the freedom marches to counter protests back in November. But there's another freedom rally on Saturday, May 14th at 12 p.m. It's entitled "Sack Them All, Vote the Majors Last," and it's a joint initiative of Australian Freedom Rally, the Australian Peacemakers, the Melbourne Freedom Rally, Millions March Against Mandatory Vaccinations, Rise Up Sydney, the People's Revolution in Southeast Queensland, and Reclaim the Line. We'll be covering it, myself, my producer Margot Huss, and also Andy Nolch might be back in time to cover this one with us as well. And of course, the following Saturday, we've got the Unshackled election night live stream, which will be hosted by myself and have panelist Kyle Kutazi, Septimus Kane, we'll have Stephen Berry, and loads more. Now, I've gone over time, though I did waste a couple of minutes trying to find that Real Rakshan clip. So thank you everyone for watching as usual. I'll be back later in the week for either Wilms Front or Trad Tasman Talk. Definitely Trad Tasman Talk on Friday, 6 p.m. Melbourne time on the Unshackled YouTube channel, when Dewey DeBoer will return. I'm certainly looking forward to catching up with him. Good night, everybody.
Tim's News Explosion. 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 Tim's News Explosion.